BISD, let's talk a little bit about GPA and class rank. We have implemented a brand new system for the class of 2023 and beyond. We know that there's a lot of questions, and our aim for this recording is to hopefully answer some of those questions and promote understanding throughout the district about our new policies. In June 2019, the BISD Board of Trustees voted to amend our local law, which changes how BISD calculates GPA and reports our class rank to the state. This is going to impact any freshmen this year, class of 2023, and all of those students that come after them. Before we really dive in, we want to talk a little bit about what led to this change. Students, parents, staff, and community members all were expressing concerns about the previous GPA and ranking system. Not only was it very complicated, it was hard for us as counselors to explain to parents. It was hard for parents and students to discuss with one another. It was also difficult for college admissions officers and recruiters to understand what they were seeing on the transcripts when they were receiving them. We feel as a community that the old ranking system and GPA system caused inflation to GPA due to adding 18 points to each of the AP and dual credit courses, and many of our students felt unable to participate in sports, fine arts, and our CTE programs because they felt pressured to stay in all AP or all dual credit courses if they had a chance at competing for the top 10%. So, in May 2019, BISD surveyed parents and students, and 294 people responded. This is what they told us. We first asked, how well do you think our current GPA functions in promoting the vision, mission, and beliefs of Boerne ISD? As you can see, only 4% of people thought we were doing a 5 out of 5. So our highest score got the lowest ranking. And 37% were only somewhat in the middle, somewhat supportive of this. And as you can see, we had about 40% of people give us a grade of a 1 or 2. When we asked how well to understand our current GPA system, the numbers were roughly the same. We have a wide disparity of answers, with a lot of people leaning towards the lower end of the scale. When we asked, are you able to calculate your own child's GPA based on our current system? 50% of participants said no. And that's a huge problem with our policies and our mission of having transparency within the district. We want students and parents to feel that they're able to have a role in their own calculation of GPA and to understand how it works. Finally, we asked participants to respond to the question, how would you rate your interest in updating the current GPA policy? And as you can see, the majority of participants were in favor of a policy update. So we began the process. We first put together a committee consisting of students, parents, administrators, and teachers. Together, they reviewed the survey results, they had open discussion, they studied other district systems, and finally, they came to a consensus on what would be best for Boerne ISD. The main goal of this new group was to create a policy that was transparent, simple, and focused mainly on students' interests. So not only could students focus on their academic skills, but also follow career pathways, fine arts pathways, and other pathways that were interesting to them. So now we really get to the meat and potatoes of calculating GPA and class rank, starting with our new freshman class of 2023. The three big changes are in rank, calculation, and how we weight the grade system. So with the ranking, the biggest change is that only the top 10% of the students in each graduating class will receive a class rank. In GPA, we're only going to include 20.5 standardized high school credits that will be the same for every student, and they will count as long as their high school credit, no matter how they earn the credit or at what level. And finally, our weighted system will be moving from a 4-tiered system to 2 categories of weights, for 1 weight class of advanced academics and 1 weight class of on-level courses. So a little bit more about each of these 3 points, because there's a lot of details to discuss. First, when we talk about class rank. So a class rank is a student's standing among others of the same year based on a numeric grade point average. Class rank places students in the numerical order based only on how their GPAs compare with one another. In this new system, our class rank will not be reported on a student transcript. However, we did say the top 10% of students in each graduating class will be ranked. And this will include all of the students that qualify for automatic admissions into Texas public universities and the top 7 that are included in the University of Texas automatic admissions. So after the fall of the junior year, we will give them a certificate that will be sent with their college application that says that they have made the top 10% for automatic admissions. In addition to that, we will each year, after each semester in January and June, report cut points. And these will be communicated with each of the graduating class members. And the cut points means the lowest GPA that qualifies a student for the top 10%, the first quarter of the class, the second quarter, and the third quarter of the class. That way, students are still able to gauge what percentage of the class they're in without having a specific numeric rank. Moving on to GPA calculation. So we're going to go over 2 categories, what the calculation should include and what they will exclude from this point. So from this point on, the weighted semester grades from all eligible courses, regardless of when or how a student takes that course. So really the biggest change in this is that students that are coming into high school with junior high credit for classes like algebra or foreign language credits, Spanish and German, those junior high credits are high school credit, so they will be weighted in with the GPA. Failing grades. So the first time a student attempts to take a course, that course semester average each semester will be put into their GPA calculation. And that includes if a student fails that course, it will be calculated in. If a course satisfies one of the eligible courses that are taken simultaneously, then we'll take the higher of the 2 weighted numerical grade averages in both semesters. So for example, if a student is taking 2 CTE courses their freshman year, our career and technology courses, let's say they're taking Principles of Agriculture and Principles of AAVTC, the higher those 2 classes both satisfy the same requirement within the 20.5 GPA credits that are calculated, so the higher of those 2 class scores will be used to calculate. So what should the calculations exclude? So any course that's assigned a pass-fail grade would be excluded from the GPA. Any local credit courses, that means they're not earning state credit for that course, so positions like office aides or student trainer would be a local credit. Any course with a grade that is exempted in accordance with a student's IEP plan. So if our student is serviced under the special education department and they are exempted from a course like foreign language, that would not be calculated in their GPA. And then for those of you freshmen this year that took a class last year in 8th grade before this policy was built, all high school courses taken before the 2019-2020 school year for the students in the 2023 graduating class will not count. So you guys are grandfathered into this system. One other point to mention on the calculations, what they should include, when it says no matter when or how a student takes this course, this would also include if a student decided to take a credit by exam or a correspondence course. If it's for those 20.5 required GPA credits, then it would be recorded as a numerical grade and calculated into the GPA. Okay, so what classes are going to be used in GPA calculation? So it's basically the foundation of any graduation high school plan that will be used. They'll have 4 credits of English. They're English 1, 2, 3, and 4 courses, whether it's on level, pre-AP, or AP. Their math courses, algebra and geometry for every student, and then a 3rd and 4th math for every student. And those may vary depending on the student. Sciences, you have biology and a lab science, which would be IPC or chemistry, and there are 2 upper level sciences, so 4 science credits. And then for social studies, it's world geography or world history, whichever they choose to take first, and U.S. history and the U.S. government and economics course for 3 social studies credits. And then the other courses that are taken are the very first LODI credit they take, so Spanish or German or other foreign language. The first 2 levels of that will count towards their GPA. Their first fine art credit, their PE credit, half a credit of health, and 1 principles course, which are our career and technology courses. So let's move on to how these grades are weighted. There are 2 tiers, like I said before. So we've eliminated a lot of our tiers into 1 on-level tier, and then anything that's advanced level. So all of our dual credit, pre-AP, and AP courses are all eligible in the first tier, and then all other eligible courses are weighted as on-level courses. So just 2 tiers. So any advanced level course, each semester average will be multiplied by 1.1. It'll carry a 10% weight. And any on-level course will be multiplied by 1. So it'll be non-weighted. So if an on-level course, they made a 100, they would have a 100 calculated in their GPA. If they took any advanced level course, it would be, if they made a 100, a 110 would be calculated in their GPA. So what is our intended outcome of this new GPA policy? What are we hoping to achieve for our students? Well, we really want to open up what's available to our students. We want to increase their desire to enroll in advanced CTE and elective courses. This will give them the experiences they need to choose a career path that's right for them. We want to reduce the stress and place less emphasis on unhealthy competition while placing more emphasis on students' interests and future goals. This is going to allow students to enroll with courses that align with their future plans without the fear of it impacting their GPA. It removes barriers to college admissions for students who are outside the top 10%. When students go into the review process unranked, the admissions boards are required to do a holistic review of the student, giving them a better chance of being accepted into that university. And of course, it helps promote the whole child and leads to a more well-rounded, richer educational experience for students. I know this is a lot to swallow. It's a lot of new information, and it's a really big change. If you have any questions at all, please feel free to reach out to your school counselors. They're the experts on this, and they'd be happy to talk to you. Have a great day.